Guest list heavy, big names abound. Academic and professional leaders, knowledge profound. Gary May, Robert Langer, Golden Sound. Podcast lit, wisdom's playground. Conversations rich, interviews bright. From MDs to artists, sharing insight. Chemistry vibe, conversations ignite. Steam dreams growing, future so bright. Chancellor May, Sidney Colley in the fold. M.K. Brown, Sheena Colley, stories told. Mike Zott, Robert Langer, wisdom gold. McCall Washington, young minds bold. Dr. Thomas N.G., Todd Golub, ignite. Abinaya Marcella, vision bright. Lesel Vincent, Sonola's insight. Michael Evans, cough under spotlight. Sarah Scrabalak, Nigella speak clear. Jake Desmond's vision future near. Mr. Bourne Kuna, Fortingo here. Darissa Ferguson, voices sincere. Guest list heavy, big names abound. Academic and professional leaders, knowledge profound. Gary May, Robert Langer, Golden Sound. Podcast lit, wisdom's playground. Conversations rich, interviews bright. From MDs to artists, sharing insight. Chemistry vibe, conversations ignite. Steam dreams growing, future so bright. L.C. Campo, Emery Brown's precision. Lynn Reshape Johnson brings thoughtful vision. Kesh Gavin clinical mission. Dick Mann and Johansson research ambition. Louis Junheim, Trevor Johnson's art. And Pinder speaking from the heart. David Joshua Ferguson plays his part. Chadwin Hanna, Vincent Miranda start. Greg Zuckerman writing from the Wall Street beat. Cordell Hardy's wisdom research elite. Kyle Woom, Forbes list ambition complete. Gabriel Galarza's insights repeat. Guest list heavy, big names abound. Academic and professional leaders, knowledge profound. Gary May, Robert Langer, Golden Sound. Podcast lit, wisdom's playground. Conversations rich, interviews bright. From MDs to artists, sharing insight. Chemistry vibe, conversations ignite. Steam dreams growing, future so bright. Dev Mandavia, corporate strategy bold. Jenai Burrows, medical stories unfold. Doreen Duncan's vision, Island City mold. Paul Boyer's lectures, stories retold. Omar Sharif Ali, software meta. Economic talks, making minds better. Pranav Dorbala, med school go-getter. Ging Rahim Bia, engineering trendsetter. Savni Kulkarni, Abbott structural heart. Farm D candidate, giving advice to start. Podcast guest list, masterful art. New chemist podcast, playing art part. Guest list heavy, names renowned. Knowledge deep, esteem, vibes profound. Podcast flowing, innovation sound. Future so bright, keep dreams unbound.
Purpose of these episodes not at all for advice or medical suggestions. These are aimed to provide support to peer pharmacists in training in educational and intellectually stimulating ways. Again, these are not at all for medical advice or medical suggestions. Please see your local board and state-certified health professional. The views of this podcast represent those of my guests and I.
Yo, check the labs, get the values right. Anemia and sickle, we fight that fight. Mnemonics in my brain, I keep them in sight. High yield medicine, we study all night. Hemoglobin's low, that's anemia's cue. 12-13 rule, 13 for men, 12 for women too. Chronic brings fatigue, weakness in the day. Headache, paliso-B won't go away. Remember WAPS P, list every sign. Fatigue, weakness, headache, anorexia align. Pallor, SOB and Pika too. That's iron deficiency, classic clue. Acute anemia hits like a crash. Hecate, TP, chest pain, angina, fainting in flash. Tachycardia racing, palpitations strong. Recognize the crisis, don't take too long. Causes: HMR hyperproliferation first, marrow damage, no RBC burst, maturation disorder, think sickle cell name, RBC lost from bleeding, autoimmune game. Labs will guide you, gotta read them tight. Iron studies show the cause in sight. LH, low HB, low MCV, ferreting down, high TRBC, iron's not around. Oral iron tips, memorize this tag. Empty VA, take it, empty Vice C, avoid antacids drag. GI side effects, constipation's real. Dark stool, nausea, tell them the deal. Examples matter, orange juice can help, but milk or PPIs, they lower the wealth. Inheritance receptive, chances plan, sickle equal SS, simple to understand. Pathophysiology, PRHV is the chain, polymerides, rigid hemolyze, vaso-occluding pain. Complications, yo, list them in class. Fast pay, they say, stroke, priapism attacks. Acute chest syndrome, deadly no doubt. Fast helps, cool fever, SESOB, hit me a shout. Therapies FDA approved through the years. HLCCL, memorize my peers. Hydroxyurea first, then L-glutamine. Crizanlizumab, gene therapies on the scene. Casgevy, Lyfgenia, curing the game. Pharmacist council, remember each name. Yo, check the labs, get the values right. Anemia and sickle, we fight that fight. Mnemonics in my brain, I keep them in sight. High yield medicine, we study all night. Yo, check the labs, get the values right. Anemia and sickle, we fight that fight. Mnemonics in my brain, I keep them in sight. High yield medicine, we study all night.
Low hemoglobin, I see the sign. 13 for men, 12 for women, the line. Chronic anemia, the fatigue sets in. Web's P tells the story within. Fatigue, weakness, headaches every day. Anorexia and pallor never go away. Shortness of breath, cravings for clay. Pick and pallor, it won't fade away. Acute anemia hits harder and fast. KFATP, the code that will last. Chest pain, angina, fainting on the floor. Tachycardia, palpitations can't ignore. Carpers line up, 3 letters HMR. Hypoproliferation, maturation, RBC scar. Labs don't lie, they tell you what's true. LLH, low HB, MCV, 13-2. I'll find a way, I'll make my own through every chart, through every bone. From empty VT, iron flow, VC helps antacids know. I'll find a way, can't be denied. Cyclosastidase, I'll turn the tide. From cancer's grip to therapy, this high yield fight is mastery. Sickle cell story, a gene's design. Sickle equal SS, autosomal line. Pathophy cycle, 4 keys to say. PRHV, poly, rigid, hemovaso every day. Complication bring the pain. Fast pain. 4C, ACS, stroke, priapim strain. Chest tight, fever, lungs in stress. See fast, maps the ACS. Therapies grow through FDA years. HLCCL, remembered by peers. Hydroxy first, the glutamine came. Crizanlizumab, gene therapy game. Casgevy, life gene, future ahead. Cures for sickle, that's what's said. Chemo lines up, it's time to see the agents in biology. Toxicities differ, the patterns are clear. The mnemonics you need are always here. I'll find a way, I'll make it through. With every step I'll break on through. MC Twaidum and FEP, platinum rules inside of me. I'll find a way, I won't forget. Kaizen signs are clearly set. From oncogenes to therapy, this high yield path is destiny. Alkylators first with MCs clean. Meclorethamine, chlorambutyl cyclosin. Ifosfamide, melphalan, join the squad. DNA cross-linking hits real hard. Cycle danger, remember the tag. Cyclosis status, blood in the bag. Platinum's ruled by the 3 named songs. Kidney, irricarbo, marroxyliners all along. And metabolites carry the flow. FPP is the way to know. Folate, NTX, Prala, parentabinine, Variplat, Pentabinine, Gem, Maracy, Saga, Purine, Setin, P, Fludarabine, the mechanism differ, but the story is true. 5 full bolus hits the bone. Infusion brings a hand-foot zone. Bolus bone, infused foot, memorized. Toxicity shifts before your eyes. Methotrexate, high dose needs a plan. MTX loves the luck of Warren, save the man. Warning signs spell spell caution clear. Change of sore, unusual bleeding near. Thick lump, indigestion, obvious mole. Nagging cough, cancer takes its toll. Benign behaves, malignant moves. Cells invade, metastasize groove. Carcinogenesis plays 4 moves in time. I play chess professionally, fits the rhyme. Oncogenes rise, with all big bad failures are K, BCR, ABL, broth, cancer traders. HER2 and FLT3 join the fight, but targeted therapy brings back light. Purine analogs, mercy into purified DNA. MTX, PEMI stop, fall it on the way. 5 fools, thymidylate skate. GCFs where DNA flow regulate. Hydroxyurea reduces ribose supply. Topo inhibitors twist DNA arrive. Flat out glue DNA strong. Asparaginase starts proteins all along. And you won't stop tracks with traction. Fingers fight, sticky ass on the signals. Phones go quiet. Astrea, arsenic, maturity's key. Forcing cells to grow normally. I'll find a way or we'll make one. Through every trial till the battle is won. Flat out glue, microchip, vape, stop tracks. Telephone kill the signal facts. I'll find a way, I'll carve my road. Arsenic makes cells grow. This is the fight, the key, the way. Knowledge and will light every day. Now take the test, your memory's tight. Every mnemonic, every insight. From anemia to cancer, your mind's on call. With strength and grit, you'll conquer it all. Finding back in the fleshy and listen to knowledge. I'm down and dark, G&L, it's the vision, the product. You're feeling pop, be a whisper scream to see the fates indeed. There's one that bothers an end. Hey, canceling if they hear, give a gave. It's ain't, don't top lock, I'll say away. UHV, sickle cells, clock, and brave. ST, cuts this number, space, planaver's in. Lethensis, quid in my calendars, brass fin, breaking like in. Cyclic, bottle, faint. Flat dome, soul, at the plane in plane. Hands on the disc, 5 view clear. Heavy X thumbs, if the villain rush, still see it. Closes off, star lights, ages cast, and not get haze, but limbed in, moves, key rise. So find a way, I'll make what I'll never back out. The Malik smile ever, lies victory crowd.
Low hemoglobin, I see the sign. 13 for men, 12 for women, the line. Chronic anemia, the fatigue sets in. WAP speed tells a story within. Fatigue, weakness, headaches every day. Anorexia and pallor never go away. Shortness of breath, cravings for clay. Pica and pallor, it won't fade away. Acute anemia hits harder and fast. FATP, the code that will last. Chest pain, angina, fainting on the floor. Tachycardia, palpitations can't ignore.
Cause it's lined up, 3 letters HMR. Hyperproliferation, maturation, RBC scar.
Labs don't lie, they tell you what's true. LLHB, MCV, ferritin 2. I'll find a way, or make my own. Through every chart, through every bone. From empty bag to iron flow. VTC helps and tests, it's no. I'll find a way, can't be denied. Cycloic cystitis, I'll turn the tide. From cancer's grip to therapy. This high-yield fight is mastery.
Sickle cell story, a gene's design. Sickle SS, autosomal line. Pathophy, cycle 4 keys to say. PIJV, polyrigid, hemovaso every day. Complications bring the pain. Vest, P views, ACS, stroke, pre-epism strain. Chest tight, fever, lungs in stress. C-fast, MAPC, ACS. Therapies grow through FDA years. HLCCL, remembered by peers. HLC first, L, glulipromine came. Crizanlizumab, gene therapy game. Casgey, Lyfgenia, future ahead. Cures for sickle, that's what's
Same old lines up, it's time to see the agents hit biology. Toxicities differ, but patterns are clear. Mnemonics you need are always here. I'll find a way, I'll make it through. With every step I'll break on through. MC, TWADM, and FPP. Platinum rules inside of me. I'll find a way, I won't forget. Caution signs are clearly set. From oncogenes to therapy. This high-yield path is destiny. Alkylators first with MCs, quadim, meclorithamine, chlorin, butyl cyclosin, and phosphomod, melphalan join the squad. DNA cross-linking hits real hard. Cyclo danger, remember the tag. Cyclo, cystitis, blood in the bag. Platinums ruled by the 3-name song. Cystic kidney ear, carbomeryroxalan nerves all along. Antimetabolites carry the flow. FPP is the way to know. Folate, text, and mixed drinks, polyp, revive. Pyramidine, 5-fu, kepitzip, bind, purine. 6MP, loaded bedrobine 2. Mechanisms differ, but the story is true.
5-fu, bolus hits a bone, infusion brings the hand-foot zone. Bolus bone, infused foot, memorized. Toxicity shifts before your eyes.
Methotrexate, high dose needs a plan.
MCX loves leucovorin, save the man.
Warning signs, spell caution clear. Change of sore, unusual bleeding near. Thick lump, indigestion, obvious mole. Nagging cough, cancer takes its toll. Benign behaves, malignant moves. Cells invade, metastasize grooves. Carcinogenesis plays 4 moves in time. I play chess professionally, fits the rhyme. Oncogenes rise with big bad failures. Okay, BCR, IBL, BRAF, cancer traders. HER2 and FLT join the fight, but targeted therapy brings back life.
Line analogs, mercy and fuel, purified DNA, MTX, chemists that later on the way. 5 food fools, gamma delays, gate, GCF code, DNA flow, regulate. Hydroxyurea reduces ribose supply, topo inhibitors, Swiss DNA, RI, plat, al, glue, DNA strong, asparginase, starch proteins all along. Put your tube stop tracks with taxin, bin, cause phytacina, silent single phones go quiet, add 3 arsenic, maturity's key, forcing cells to grow normally.
I'll find a way, or I will make one through every trial till the battle is won. Plat out glue, macro tube, stop tracks, telephone killed the signal facts. I'll find a way, I'll carve my road. Arsenic makes cells grow. This is the fight, the key, the way. Knowledge and will light every day.
Now take the test, your memory's tight. Every mnemonic, every insight, from anemia to cancer, your mind's on call. With strength and grit, you'll conquer it all.
Every name that brought me gaps, sign grub in my mind. What BT force is the beast and it finds. Half for odds, the whispers, got it the team. Perfection, being that's the case of me. I am canceling paid if they act with the David seed they take. I waste my way, carriage, P7 cells, card and bank. Prof B crisis, no mistake. Kill them all, tour, advancing, spun in, let them run this cross, sweet red cat with mass cycles. The sky is photo and food. Bloody new fool with a flooding real cube. Orders Dexy and Scoop. Feather Bill, and TX with a damn full on mass, gave a suit. Cause it's all scum lies. Find a way or make mine own love a vector. Your melodic's my armor, my ghetto is crossed.
Guest list heavy, big names abound. Academic and professional leaders, knowledge profound. Gary May, Robert Langer, Golden Sound. Podcast lit, wisdom's playground. Conversations rich, interviews bright. From MDs to artists, sharing insight. Chemistry vibe, conversations ignite. Steam dreams growing, future so bright. Chancellor May, Sidney Colley in the fold. MK Brown, Sheena Colley, stories told. Mike Zott, Robert Langer, wisdom gold. McCall Washington, young minds bold. Dr. Thomas N.G., Todd Golub, ignite. Abinaya Marcella, vision bright. Lesel Vincent, Sonola's insight. Michael Evans, cough under spotlight. Sarah Skrabalak, Nigella speak clear. Jake Desmond's vision future near. Mr. Bourne Kuna, Fortingo here. Darissa Ferguson, voices sincere. Guest list heavy, big names abound. Academic and professional leaders, knowledge profound. Gary May, Robert Langer, Golden Sound. Podcast lit, wisdom's playground. Conversations rich, interviews bright. From MDs to artists, sharing insight. Chemistry vibe, conversations ignite. Steam dreams growing, future so bright. LC Campo, Emery Brown's precision. Lynn Reshape Johnson brings thoughtful vision. Keshav Gavin transclinical mission. Dick Mann and Johansson research ambition. Louis Junghan, Trevor Johnson's art. And Pinder speaking from the heart. David Joshua Ferguson plays his part. Chatwin Hannah, Vincent Miranda start. Greg Zuckerman writing from the Wall Street beat. Cordell Hardy's wisdom research elite. Kyle Woom, Forbes list ambition complete. Gabriel Galarza's insights repeat. Guest list heavy, big names abound. Academic and professional leaders, knowledge profound. Gary May, Robert Langer, Golden Sound. Podcast lit, wisdom's playground. Conversations rich, interviews bright. From MDs to artists, sharing insight. Chemistry vibe, conversations ignite. Steam dreams growing, future so bright. Dev Mandavia, corporate strategy bold. Jen I. Burrows, medical stories unfold. Doreen Duncan's vision, Island City mold. Paul Boyer's lectures, stories retold. Omar Sharafali software meta. Economic talks, making minds better. Pranav Dorbala med school go-getter. Ging Rahim Bia, engineering trendsetter. Savni Kulkarni Abik structural heart. Farm D candidate giving advice to start. Podcast guest list masterful art. New chemist podcast playing art part. Guest list heavy, names renowned. Knowledge deep esteem, vibes profound. Podcast flowing, innovation sound. Future so bright, keep dreams unbound.
Purpose of these episodes not at all for advice or medical suggestions. These are aimed to provide support to peer pharmacists in training in educational and intellectually stimulating ways. Again, these are not at all for medical advice or medical suggestions. Please see your local board and state-certified health professional. The views of this podcast represent those of my guests and I.
Podcast in which we discuss leaders in science, pharma, and education. It is a pleasure and an honor to have with me a special guest today. His name is Mohan Uttarwar. And you know, this is really, really a treat. Mohan Uttarwar is an accomplished entrepreneur and innovator with extensive expertise in life sciences and precision diagnostics. With a strong track record of building successful companies, he has pioneered advancements in healthcare through innovative technologies and transformative solutions. Mohan's work focuses on addressing unmet needs in oncology and personalized medicine, leveraging cutting-edge platforms to improve patient outcomes. As a visionary leader, he excels in driving strategic growth, fostering collaborations, and guiding teams to achieve breakthrough results. His contributions have significantly influenced the development of next-generation diagnostic tools, particularly in the areas of liquid biopsy and multi-omics. Mohan remains committed to advancing healthcare by bridging the gap between scientific discovery and clinical application, creating meaningful and impactful solutions for patients and healthcare providers worldwide. This is definitely a treat to have you with me today. So can I call you Mohan or Dr. Uttarwar? What do you prefer?
Mohan would be fine.
Mohan will be fine. Okay, well, good. So can you describe the journey that led to co-founding 1Cell.Ai and the unmet need in oncology you set out to address?
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you, David, for inviting me to be your guest today. It's a pleasure and an honor.
Yes.
Cancer is a deadly disease. There are over 2 million cancer patients now in the United States. We have over 28 million cancer survivors. And every minute, we have more than one person dying of cancer. And unfortunately, this is growing. And something needs to be done. Now, one shoe doesn't fit all in cancer. It has to be personalized. Okay, call it a personalization, call it an individualization, call it a precision medicine. This is all about giving the right medicine to the right patient at the right time with the right dose. Okay, and this personalization comes from the knowledge of the genomics. The first generation of precision medicine was driven by genomics and was tissue biopsy. Okay, but tissue is always an issue. You can't get tissue very easily. It is surgical procedure. So the liquid biopsy, which is, from the blood, you'll be able to characterize and find that personalized medicine, has become very popular over the last decade or so. And, that's done a pretty good job. Companies like Guardant did very, very well. Companies like Foundation in the first generation, which is tissue biopsy. Guardant in the second generation, which is liquid biopsy. But it doesn't give you the whole perspective, That's where I think 1Cell's vision of taking the liquid biopsy to the next level. Cell-based liquid biopsy, we call it cell biopsy. That's the new term that we coined, which captures circulating tumor cells in the bloodstream. Cancer, a gram of tumor of cancer anywhere in your body will shed about 1 million cells per day. Now, it might sound like a lot, but we have trillions of cells in our body. So it's really 1 in 1 billion cells. So it's a very rare, very scanty, very rare cells. Okay, it's very hard. It's like finding a needle in the haystack. Okay, so 1Cell has developed a novel science, a novel chemistry. It's called affinity-based capture of this 1 in 1 billion circulating tumor cells. Okay, and have the chemistry breakthrough science to isolate the cells. So for the first time, you have a viable, living, live single cells, circulating tumor cells captured. And now, good news is that technology has developed so that on the single cell, you're able to do the genomics, the transcriptomics, targeted proteomics, right? And generate a lot of data. And then AI-enabled analytical platform to take this data, and analyze it and interpret it and present meaningful, critical, clinical solutions so that a right patient, at a right time can get the right medicine. So we help oncologists, we recommend oncologists based on deep science and deep data science, a medicine that will work well for a given patient. That's why we are excited about 1Cell, and that's the vision of providing every oncologist in every hospital, in every corner of the world, the tools to practice precision oncology. Means providing personalized treatment plan to every patient, so no patient should be left behind.
This is very good. This is very good. Very good. So, what technical or logistical hurdles did you encounter when working on these data streams, and how did you overcome them?
Lots of challenges. If it was easy, it would have been already done, right? Why do you need a Silicon Valley company, breaking new barriers, etc.? Circulating tumor cells is like that 1 in 1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
So capturing that very rare cell, that 1 in 1 billion circulating tumor cell, is the biggest challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that is where our scientific team, invented this new way of what is called the affinity capture.
Mm-hmm.
We take glass beads, we functionalize them, and what happens with this circulating tumor cells, the CTCs, is they express certain proteins on the surface of the cells.
Mm.
Okay, and with our glass bead technology, we have these EpCAM antibodies.
Mm-hmm.
So they attract, so think of it like a magnet that can attract this particular stuff. So we developed our novel chemistry, to be able to do the affinity-based capture.
Okay.
The other problem that happens is the purity of capture. CTCs are surrounded by so many cells, the leukocytes as they call it.
Mm.
There's a lot of this contamination, and then you can't analyze it properly.
Mm.
Okay? You don't get good results. You start with noise.
Okay.
And then you have to spend a lot of resources to denoise the data.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can start clean right from the get-go, you capture that 1 in 1 billion cell at a sensitivity which is order of magnitude more. And if you have the purity of capture, like we say, efficacy, and the specificity. And so we do a very good job of even capturing with purity and with simplicity. So if I take all the three axes, order of a magnitude higher sensitivity, order of a magnitude higher purity of capture, and order of magnitude higher simplicity and cost benefit, it's 1,000 times better price performance than anything that exists.
Wow.
So we had to overcome, this scientific challenge.
Okay.
The other big challenge was from the same cell, as is they're very rare, right? You hardly find 5 to 10 cells in 10 ml blood tube. And if you have to do multi-omics on it in order to really provide a meaningful recommendation to the doctors which medicines to give, one science, one technology doesn't work. Genomics gives you something. Transcriptomics gives you something more. Proteomics gives you something more. Metabolomics gives you something more. So we do all these 4 different types of scientific experiments. Okay. And they work on the cell. So our big challenge was we have only, let's say, 10 cells. Okay. And there are 5 different scientific experiments. So I cannot give all cells to one, right? So I used to have to divide between, okay, genomics experiment, take these 2 cells. Transcriptomic, take this 1 cell. So it becomes very difficult.
Okay.
So with our collaborator and a partner, we developed a beautiful new scientific breakthrough where all these genomics, transcriptomics, proteomics, all of these things work on the same cell.
Wow.
Now that's also, first of its kind, first in class, where on the same single cell, we get to, you get the data for genomics, for transcriptomics, and for proteomics. So this is the exciting part. And finally, this is a data overload, right? From a single cell, you generate, gigabytes of data. How do you analyze that? And this is where, again, 1Cell has developed a beautiful software platform called iCore and iCare, which analyzes this multimodal, multidisciplinary, multi-omics data.
Wow.
Okay, and applying AI and correlation to find out, what is the potential recommendation for a given patient.
Wow.
So that's very exciting. It's very challenging, but we hope that this will be very rewarding, experience and a journey.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So just taking a step back from the work, what have been your long-standing interest in science, and how did you end up in the career position that you're in right now?
So I'm neither a doctor nor a scientist. I'm an engineer by education, and I've always applied innovation in technology to improve the health of businesses. But about a dozen years ago, something terrible happened. A very, very close friend of ours passed away with cancer.
Okay.
And before that, I saw the agonies and pains of cancer patients suffering through. One thing led to the other, and I met some folks at Stanford. I had sold my company to, I had an exit, and I was contemplating, do I join a VC fund? There was a possibility, or do I do something else? And it dawned on me that while we celebrate in the tech world the beating of the chess grandmaster, then the cancer and the healthcare is so behind times in using technology. Okay. And I met some folks at Stanford. I remember meeting with Dr. Norman Warnke, a pathologist there, and a whole bunch of other people. And one thing led to the other. And I started a company called Bioimaging to digitize pathology.
Okay.
And fast forward, we worked very hard. We did a lot of innovation. And that company was ultimately acquired by Roche.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was a nice exit. Investor did very well. The management team, very well. Everybody was happy. And so post that, I got involved in a couple other companies. One of them was cancer diagnostic company called OncoIncytes. That also got acquired. And then Parker Institute was set up in San Francisco to accelerate clinical studies in immuno-oncology. Okay. And that was a ground floor opportunity where we developed a software platform to integrate this multimodal, multi-omics data and collaborating with half a dozen very prestigious institutes like Stanford, UCLA, UCSF, Sloan Kettering, MD Anderson, UPenn.
Wow.
Experience of aggregating this multidimensional multimodal data and then making sense out of it, coming up with a recommendation, and that's how it got started. So it's been a long journey, and the best is yet to come.
Yes, I agree.
But we believe that the innovation at the intersection of science and technology is going to lead to a predictive oncology, as we call it, where we could manage it before it becomes too little, too late.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's a powerful story you shared. Very powerful story. I appreciate you sharing that. So how do you envision precision oncology evolving over the next 5 years, particularly as cell and gene therapy, gene-based therapies advance? Where do you see precision oncology heading in the next 5 years?
Absolutely. I think in the next 5 to 10 years, entire oncology should become precision oncology. In fact, that should be an oxymoron. Why not, right? If the science and technology evolves to the point that a personalization of therapy, personalization of treatment is possible, that will really, change the game. And I really envision that happening. Cell and gene therapy, cancer vaccines, no question about that. I think if you really look at where we are focusing on, is 90-95% of the cancer deaths happens because of the reoccurrence. The root cause of reoccurrence is metastasis, right? And the root cause of metastasis is the circulating tumor cells. Okay. We are doing a groundbreaking work to capture those circulating tumor cells, okay, and advancing the science to use them to predict what's going to happen and to be able to provide meaningful insights from the data that will help doctors take some corrective actions much before the bad thing happens. Okay, so I think I'm a big believer in precision oncology. I'm a big believer in the new technologies that are transforming the field. And I believe that over the next 5 to 10 years, the precision, every oncology will become precision oncology. And our 5-year survivals, right, that happen because of the reoccurrence will dramatically reduce. And that's my goal. And it is our aspiration to at least impact 1 million cancer patients using our science and technology.
Wow, that's good. That's very good. So several things I'll ask. And interestingly enough, I'm also in pharmacy school, so I'm doing my PharmD. And one of the modules we have coming up is actually a module in cancer. So this is like perfect timing, perfect timing. So my question to you is in terms of your work in precision oncology, do you see your work influencing, for every field, you have guidelines on how medication should be dispensed or dosed, or how treatment should be given, or management of care, how that should be done? There's like a guideline. Do you see your work having an impact in terms of the guidelines with oncology, probably with for instance, with the oncology guidelines or medication guidelines or therapy guidelines? Because this is a large, and I would take it probably impactful repository of data that you're analyzing. Can you see it impacting guidelines?
I do. I absolutely do. And for any new technology to become a standard of care, you got to be included in the guidelines. Okay, And I believe that several of the tests that we are working on, have a potential to be included in the guideline. That's our goal, that's our aspiration, and that's our mission. I mean, look at the things like what happens today. A survivor, a cancer survivor, has to go through once a year or twice a year a CT, a PET, or an MRI. Now, all these modalities, in order to be able to detect if there is a cancer or not, the size of the secondary tumor growth has to be at least 9 to 10 millimeter. That's billions of cells. By the time you get there, it's too late. Okay, and you have an exposure of radiation. Everybody doesn't have access to PET and CT and MRI. There's a more financial toxicity. So what if the standard of care is replaced by a simple blood draw from the comfort and convenience of your home, and be able to tell you way ahead before your 9 to 10 millimeter cells growth has happened or tumor growth has happened? Okay, so this kind of test will become a norm, should become a norm, will get included in the guidelines, and then there will be a shift and transformation in the market by the acceptance. Okay, but it takes a while. So you start with the research field, then you go into the biopharma, maybe move into companion diagnostics, and ultimately people will see value. In US, that's a long road. Most of the companies, don't make it all the way through. Okay, considering that fact, we actually decided to, in addition to our main long-term focus, also do something in the short term, so that pharma companies, biotech companies, can benefit from this technology. We get the revenues, we get to share our technology, and hopefully speed up the discovery part.
That's some good strategy. Some very good strategy. Very good strategy. So, how do you foster effective collaboration across diverse teams? So R&D, data science, and clinical across different personalities on multiple geographies. How do you foster teamwork and collaboration in the work that you do?
Not easy.
Not easy. Okay.
Startups are hard. Global startups are even harder. And startups that include science, data science, and the clinical development are even harder.
Okay.
And we are living it as we speak. We are headquartered here in Silicon Valley. We have a lab here. We do a lot of R&D here. We have a lab in India. That's now already commercial. And we have software team both here in India and the data science team. So it's not easy, but what binds us all together is a common mission.
Yep.
And our vision of democratizing precision oncology and impacting 1 million lives, okay, overrides all the nitty-gritty details of all the different groups. And that's what we brought us together.
Okay, wow, that's good. That's good. So, what key skills, mindsets, or experiences should scientists or engineers cultivate to enter precision oncology or to advance in the space as you have advanced? What would you say are the key skills and mindsets and experiences?
Well, I mean, skills are different, right? Scientists, we need scientists, we need medicos, we need software, we need data science, we need hardware engineer because we're also doing automation. I think it's the mindset, and the mindset should be a patient-first approach. Okay. I encourage even, a software engineer who writes piece of code. I encourage the lab scientists who are doing, lab work to never forget the fact why are you doing what you're doing? And the bigger purpose, the bigger goal is to be able to do things that will help better patient care.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
That's the one that brings all the pieces together. And I
Mm-hmm.
encourage scientists to learn a little more about the computer science.
Mm-hmm.
I encourage the software people to really understand the psyche of a scientific team
Mm-hmm.
and how they can learn from each other.
Yeah, that sounds good. So as we start to wrap up, what from your perspective, what are some of the common successes slash pitfalls that early stage biotech founders avoid or encounter when raising and deploying their first project? What are some of the key pitfalls or even the key successes that people encounter or should avoid um, when they're raising and deploying their first institutional round?
Now, time will tell. I've been there a few times. You raise money, you get excited, and you rack up the spending.
Mm-hmm.
And it always takes longer to get to the next milestone. And it's a chasm. Okay, you have to cross the chasm.
Mm-hmm.
I think excitement and enthusiasm of a first round of funding has to be managed properly and extend the runway so that you can get to your next round, Series B, and so on and so forth. So oftentimes I have seen too many companies, they work hard, they do well, they raise funds, but in that excitement and enthusiasm, you don't keep track of your expenses, and then you get into a squeeze. That should,
Pardon me?
I think that should be avoided.
Should be avoided. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's important to be a good manager and a good steward of your funding. So what has been some of the beneficial advice that you have received, or what beneficial advice plays out or in your mind when you do well and when you make these progress, or what do you think is contributing in terms of like your mindset or your some feedback that someone has given you that's really helping you to this day?
Yeah, I'm very fortunate to get a great board. I mean, really outstanding. Dr. James Rothman is the Nobel laureate. How many companies can boast the claim that we have a Nobel laureate in cell biology on our board?
Wow.
Michael Marks, who took the company from where it was 70 million, Flectronics, and he built it into a $25 billion franchise. So, real superstar experts, experienced people that have been helping us understand and learn. What is the advice that I got that I really cherish? I think the first and foremost is the team.
Mm-hmm.
Build a kick-ass team, build an awesome team.
Mm-hmm.
I always tell myself and tell all my team that we have to recruit people who are better and smarter than you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That includes me, right? And then, challenge yourself to rise to the occasion, rise above the noise, so that you can add value to them.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Grove, the ex-CEO of Intel and my, unsolicited mentor, always used to say, hire the best people, and challenge yourself so that you can add value to them.
Mm-hmm.
That will push you, that will push to the edge, push you to force the discipline of hiring top talented people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's always been my thing. So team, the technology, I mean, there's really no place unless you're really innovative, which is order of magnitude better. Incremental innovation is not for Silicon Valley startup. You have to have a groundbreaking innovation. And that needs to be validated with the traction from the key opinion leaders. And really, we are very fortunate to have some superstars.
Mm-hmm.
On our board, on our advisory board, as well as on our team.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. Sounds good. So thank you, Mohan, for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. So here you have it, folks. This is the making of KOLs, in which we discuss and engage with leaders in science, pharma, and education. Thank you again, Mohan, for joining me. I really do appreciate it.
All right. Take care, David.
Yep.
Purpose of these episodes not at all for advice or medical suggestions. These are aimed to provide support to peer pharmacists in training in educational and intellectually stimulating ways. Again, these are not at all for medical advice or medical suggestions. Please see your local board and state-certified health professional. The views of this podcast represent those of my guests and I.
Guest list heavy, big names abound, academic and professional leaders, knowledge profound. Gary May, Robert Langer, Golden Sound, podcast lit, wisdom's playground. Conversations rich, interviews bright, from MDs to artists, sharing insight. Chemistry vibe, conversations ignite, steam dreams growing, future so bright. Chancellor May, Sidney Colley in the fold, MK Brown, Sheena Colley stories told, Mike Zott, Robert Langer, wisdom gold, McCall Washington, young minds bold, Dr. Thomas N.G., Todd Golub ignite, Abinaya Marcella, vision bright, Lesel Vincent, Sonola's insight, Michael Evans, cough under spotlight, Sarah Scrabalak, Nigella speak clear, Jake Desmond's vision future near, Mr. Bourne Kuna, Fortingo here, Darissa Ferguson, voices sincere. Guest list heavy, big names abound, academic and professional leaders, knowledge profound. Gary May, Robert Langer, Golden Sound, podcast lit, wisdom's playground. Conversations rich, interviews bright, from MDs to artists, sharing insight. Chemistry vibe, conversations ignite, steam dreams growing, future so bright. LC Campo, Emery Brown's precision, Lynn Reshape Johnson brings thoughtful vision. Keshav Gavin transclinical mission, Dick Mann and Johansson research ambition. Louis Junhan, Trevor Johnson's art, and Pinder speaking from the heart. David Joshua Ferguson plays his part, Chadwin Hanna, Vincent Miranda start. Greg Zuckerman writing from the Wall Street beat, Cordell Hardy's wisdom research elite, Kyle Woom Forbes list ambition complete, Gabriel Galarza's insights repeat. Guest list heavy, big names abound, academic and professional leaders, knowledge profound. Gary May, Robert Langer, Golden Sound, podcast lit, wisdom's playground. Conversations rich, interviews bright, from MDs to artists, sharing insight. Chemistry vibe, conversations ignite, steam dreams growing, future so bright. Dev Mandavia, corporate strategy bold, Jenai Burrows, medical stories unfold. Doreen Duncan's vision, Island City mold, Paul Boyer's lectures, stories retold. Omar Sharif Ali, software meta, economic talks, making minds better. Pranav Dorbala, med school go-getter. Dean Rahim Bia, engineering trendsetter. Savni Kulkarni, Abbott structural heart. Farm D candidate, giving advice to start. Podcast guest list, masterful art. New chemist podcast, playing art part. Guest list heavy, names renowned, knowledge deep, esteem, vibes profound. Podcast flowing, innovation sound, future so bright, keep dreams unbound.